Hey, it's Mike from 424recording.com, and in today's video, we're talking why you should always release albums. Can you always really be blasting out material that's really that great? Who cares if it takes 2 years to write an album, or 10 for that matter? It really comes down to what your goals are and what you want, and how you like to consume music. There's so many people in today's world saying you have to do singles only, you have to do small releases, you have to be in everybody's face all the time. Maybe you don't have to be. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't have to listen to anything anybody says, but it's definitely something interesting to consider, and also the statistics that are on my personal Bandcamp page, I guess they don't lie. It's also noteworthy to mention that some bands base their entire career around 1 or 2 albums, and that seems to be all they really needed. So maybe it's worth it to perfect one album or release albums only, you know? You can't go to a rock show to see a band play one song, can you? Of course, albums are the best way to tell a story or make a statement about something or have a bunch of tracks that are united by a common theme. Maybe what you need to record or the art that you need to make is best suited to an album format. Maybe it's a double album. Maybe you need to make a quad album to get across what you want to get across as a musician. Telling somebody to condense their opus into one track, maybe that's not possible. Maybe the album format is the only thing that makes sense for you. Of course, the more stuff that you have out there, the more stuff there is for potential music listeners or potential fans to find and get into. I know when I find a new band that I like, I am voracious about Googling them, Wikipedia them, you know, finding old blogs, finding old websites, finding old bands they were in, finding more information, you know, going on AllMusic, or used to go on AllMusic, and going on Spotify. It's like when you find something that you like, you want as much of it as you can get, or really something that you love in today's world. And the more material you have out there, the more landmines there are for potential people to come across and discover you by. And the more there is for people to check out and fall in love with even further. So in that sense, I think it's always worth it to release albums, because who knows when that one song cuts through or a song makes it through. Chances are that person may want more at that point if they're really in love with what you're doing. Basically, as you put more albums out, there's more for diehard fans to explore. If you want to make a physical release, I don't really know many people that's going to buy a physical single, or I guess they would buy a 7-inch record if you made one. That may be the exception to the point, but albums just serve themselves better to being physical products. You know, making a tape, making a CD, making a record. Yeah, you can put one song on those things and attempt to sell that at your shows, and maybe people will be into that. But more often than not, music lovers and people want some sort of a physical, something to hold on to. They want a physical copy of what you're doing. They want a souvenir. And albums just make sense for the physical form. They always have, and they always will. Personally, I've always listened to albums. I've never gone out looking for singles. I was never the guy in Tower Records going through the singles area. I was always looking for albums, always looking for full statements. That's just how I grew up, but I've never been a singles guy. I mean, what impresses me about bands is bands that can put together a great album, a great 40 minutes, a great half hour, a great hour that transports you to another world, that can, you know, change your mood, change your mind, put you in another place. It's not the same experience listening to a single, as good as that single may or may not be. Tech changes, you know, I mean, that's the big thing of the 21st century, is the speed of which things are speeding up. The way we consume music today is most part streaming. I mean, there's still people buying physical albums, there's still people buying CDs, cassettes, records, etc. A lot of people consume things streaming via YouTube, via Spotify, Apple Music, those type of platforms. But then there's also a huge amount of hip-hop guys and artists that are putting out huge compilation style albums to get the streams, to get more tracks out there for people to check out. When people love a certain artist, they want more from that artist. So give the people what they want, right? I guess what I'm trying to say here is technology changes, but albums have been around for a long time. The longer something's been around, chances are the longer it will continue to be around. And I think in some form, albums and physical albums will always be around, and that'll always be a way people consume music, unless there's such a shift to just singles. And I think Spotify is changing that a little bit, but like I said, there's a lot of artists, especially hip-hop artists, putting out huge compilation albums, and people seem to enjoy those. So, you know, I can't predict the future. Predicting the future is one of the most sketchiest and hardest things for anybody to do. Anybody ever says they can predict the future, just run the other way, because they have no idea what's gonna happen. Nobody has any idea what's gonna happen. So albums make sense for an artist and people dig them. What's a musician to do? Single versus album. What do you want to do for your next release? Are you thinking about a single? Do you want to do an album? Are you doing physical formats still? Leave a comment below, let us know. We'd love to hear what you got to say. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you nerd. Godspeed, my friend. This is Mike with 424recording.com. Do something you want to do today. If what you want to do today is release an album, do it up. If what you want to do today is release a single, do it up. Just make sure you're doing something that you want to do today. All right, I'll catch you on the flip flop. Peace.